Okay, today we will be discussing the PCV system of in Honda cars, and of course the in naturally aspirated engine it does not matter at all. The OEM Honda system is enough, but in turbocharged engine there should be some measures and it should be properly routed. Okay, so the first thing is the Honda PCV system. Okay, here you can see this is the PCV valve. Okay, here down, and this is what it does. It is leading all the way into this port. Okay, the vacuum port in intake manifold. And what I have did is I did not do anything to it. Just extended some pipe and added a small catch can. Okay, this is a simple catch can because the space is just not there. Okay, this is Honda Fit and K24 and this turbo, so no space for the oil catch can. That's why I am using this small bottle, and there is this thing down, and if I press it, all the oil can be drained. Okay, within 5 seconds. Okay, so these are very handy. I'll post the link where to get these. Okay, so what happens is when normally there is vacuum in the engine. Okay, so what happens is the fresh air, this is usually routed into the intake pre-turbo. Okay, and in a non-turbo Honda this is routed in the air filter box. Okay, so fresh air is entering from here and circulating all the engine, and toxic vapors and excessive unburned gases are again through the PCV into the intake manifold, and they are burned in the engine.
This can be confusing. Try to understand that the combustion is going on in the engine cylinders, but around the engine cylinder, for example the crankcase and the other places, okay, those have positive pressure due to the piston firing. Okay, so that pressure has to go somewhere, or otherwise that will affect bad effect on the seals. Okay, and if you are turbo, the turbo seals can be blown. Okay, or the oil pan seals will be blown. And in a naturally aspirated system, that positive pressure is sucked by the negative pressure in the intake, so all the PCV system is routed in the intake. But in the turbo system, there is tricky part.
But when car is in the boost, okay, so what happens is there is no vacuum, so those toxic vapor, excessive pressure is not going anywhere. What is happened is this PCV system has a check valve. Okay, so the gases cannot get back, but this valve cover vent has no check valve in it, so this is a two-way. When we are out of boost, the fresh air is going through here and into the intake manifold, but when in boost, what happens is all that pressure is routing through this. And what I did was initially this was going in this, and this pipe was connected to intake, but what happened are under boost all those oil contents were going into the turbo, and once I remove the filter for cleaning, all the turbo was littered with oil, and that's not a good sign. Just remove the intake to change the battery, and I found it oil here. Okay, look at that. Similarly, the throttle body was filled with oil inside. Look at that, all that I cleared inside. Okay, just to where extend my hand can go inside, I cleaned that out. Okay, you can see all that oil underneath. That's it. So that's why if you are going turbo route, do not reroute the PCV system back into the intake. Okay,
Imagine all the oil in my intercooler pipes and intercooler. Okay, so that I cannot remove, but I have to live with it.
although I was using that small filter where it is. Okay, I was using this small filter, but still that filter will not, because turbo is sucking so much air, all the oil will be gone through the turbo, then again to the intercooler, and then back here in the intake, and that's bad because that is called knocking. So what I did is I just blocked that port. Okay, and routed it into the atmosphere. But this is not enough. You can see under boost, this is the only vent this engine has, and look at that, the size of this hole, and look at that. This is the Honda fitting, this is mine. Okay, so look at this size and look at this size. Let me take it off and show you the internal diameters. So this internal diameter is almost 10.5 millimeters, okay. So that's, you can see, and by this pipe you can guess it is half of that, okay. So if you are utilizing this, just route it so that use at least a pipe which has half an inch diameter inside, and then that will lead to catch can. And I have ordered a fitting which will just do that. I will convert this into the AN fitting, and then out of that I will route the thick pipe, okay, rubber pipe or what hose AN fitting to this, okay. So that why this bottleneck will be not there. Another thing I will be doing is, if you are running up to the 1 bar boost, then one vent is enough. But if you are running more than 1 bar, then we will need another vent system, okay. And you have seen people welding the bungs over there, okay. They are welding 2 bungs, but I think 1 is more than enough, okay, if you are running under 2 bar, okay. So now people just don't show the inside, okay, just they show the welded flange and routing into the oil catch can. So what we will doing is, I have a spare valve cover with me. So here is my K20 beaded faded paint, but it will work. After I weld the flange, I'll be repainted. So let's have a look at how this Honda system, okay, this valve cover breather is leading. Okay, look at that. The inside, it is not open, okay, it is going in this space. And look at that beautiful baffle plate, okay, all the way, and it is opening all the way here, okay. Look at that, okay. If I blow through here, I can feel the air getting out from here, okay. So that is because, if you have seen the videos, if we remove the valve cover and start the engine, the oil is just splashing, okay, it's so much pressure. So that's why if this baffle will not be used, what will happen is, all that oil will be, instead of vapor, all that oil will be sucking into this, okay. It will be venting into atmosphere when you are under boost, or if you have routed into the intake manifold, then the whole turbo, everything will be getting oiled, okay, which is not good. So that's why what I will be using is, okay, remember, you need the bungs which are, this is metal, okay. So what I will be doing is, I will be making a hole and then welding it, okay. Is it steel or aluminum? Let's apply our magnet, so it's not sticking at all. And this is also aluminum. Most of the K series is all cast aluminum, but some of the oil pans are steel. For example, the K24 have steel oil pan, so I was not sure. So now we will be needing an aluminum fitting, okay, AN10 fitting. And the location best I found is this one, okay. And this will be going in this oil catch can separately, and this will be going oil catch can here, okay. So luckily I have a spare valve cover, so I'll be first welding this fitting in there, and then we will be making a small baffle plate here, and then we will be fitting that in here, okay. So let's start. And these fittings, these are easily available. I'll post the link.
If you will using welding, which is better, then you will need this which have less neck. And if you are using the hole and then screwing the fitting with some o-ring, then choose this with the longer, okay, the under part. Otherwise welding uses this one, which I ordered the wrong one, so I had to cut the neck, okay.
And the internal diameter is usually 11.5 millimeter, and similarly the internal diameter of this is almost 11.5 millimeter. So this is equivalent to AN10 fitting, the OEM Honda fitting. So, and but you can see, the further you go, this tapers down, okay. Almost this is half. This is not my fitting, this I just use the Honda's original fitting. So that's, if you can avoid this bottleneck, this tapering off into the small, that Honda original fitting can be enough for up to 1 bar boost. But if you are running more than 1 bar, then it's better you use 2 fittings, okay, 1 here and 1 here. Since my oil catch cans are smaller, so that's why, although I plan on running up to 1 bar, I am still using the 2, because these have the diameter, the internal diameter of my small oil catch can is almost 5 millimeter. So I will need 2 of these. I don't think we have some space over here. Okay, let me take out my 90-degree AN fitting. Okay. So let's suppose we will use the AN to bar because it is very easy. The AN lines are just not needed for this purpose. Okay, the bar will do just fine. So if I have screwed it, and still you can see the fuel rail is in the way, so I have to figure out. I was thinking, or maybe like that. Here it can be fitted. I can see the fuel rail, but I have converted it into the return fuel rail, so that's why this is my return and this is going to the FPR and going back. So here maybe if I cut the length enough, here I can fit it. Okay, so let's see what is here in this side. We are talking about here. We're talking about here. So let's see what's underneath that. Okay, that will be near left to this screw. So let me mark it and drill, and then we will be welding this fitting and proceeding forward. Okay, I have made the hole with the stepper drill, but keep in mind that this was touching slightly here. So when you mark your hole, this, but still that's just scratches, not a hole. And now it's easily going into here. Okay, sorry. Okay, it will like that, and then I'll make a DIY little baffle for it. This is a aluminum can lid just for the template. Okay, I will cut it, then make a slight baffle, and then we will make some metal strip and weld it with here. Okay, the purpose for that little baffle is that oil does not go directly into this. Okay, it is not being sucked through here. Instead it has some resistance so that excessive oil can be prevented from going into the catch can. So I got this welded. Okay, here it is, and now I'll be just painting the valve cover. And for the baffle plate, this was my DIY baffle plate. I will be just using Honda bond. That's because this is very light. Honda bond here and here, so that this will be secured at this plate. Okay, it has been thoroughly cleaned. Okay, any metal or particles I have cleaned them, and now it's time to install my little baffle plate DIY, and just with a Honda bond. Okay, look at that, Honda bond applied. This does not need welding. This will not be going anywhere. Very sturdy, almost everywhere. But look at that, there is plenty of, you can see here. So almost the purpose is the oil should not be going direct. Okay, this will be lying like that. Okay, so this is upside down, so oil will be not directly sucking into this, but indirectly the vapors will be going from here and there. Okay, from down below. This was the fitting I ordered. This converts this into the AN fitting, and this looks good quality after it tied, then here screwed. But I was thinking first tie this fitting, then use the fitting like this. Why not instead directly put this rubber pipe over here? Okay, and then here will be my catch can. So this will be simple and more practical. Okay, you are wondering how an AN10 equivalent pipe will fit over these narrow fittings. You can see, so I will be using flex tape. Now applying this flex tape so that the size become bigger and this bigger pipe can accommodate it. Look at that, this was original size and this is now the size, so that this can fit this. But ideal is use the same internal diameter catch can, but due to the limited space, that's why I'm using the two. Okay, if there's hindrance that you can bend your AN fitting to some extent. For example, this was 45. I just tightened it with vice grip, and then with a pipe I just supported this and then turned it this one. And look at that, the angle is now more than 45. Okay. You see, because before this was exactly opposite to my fuel pressure regulator and it was hitting that. And let's see now, after I bent it, look at that, now it's going straight toward here. Okay, and here there will be my little this bottle. Okay, so now it's straight going toward that. Before it was here, it was hitting the fuel pressure regulator. So that way you can easily bend the AN fittings. Okay, and if you have two bigger pipes, for example, if I had two of these, I can put one end here, and then bend it with my hand. That's super easy. But if you have one pipe, and then you can use a vice grip. Guys, at last my system is complete. Direct pipe going into this fitting, and then oil catch can and filter. Then other is going this way. There is the oil catch can, there is the filter. So that's my setup. Now closing everything up. Had to cut the plastic here, but no big deal.
So that's the end of the video. The system is working flawlessly. Hope you like the video. Kindly subscribe and share.